Okay, let's go ahead and do this Chapter 2 quiz review. So number 1, write a function rule that produces an output of 7 for an input of 1.5. Now this really not going to be too bad. We just need an equation. That's really all it's asking us for. And we're going to start with that equation, y equals x. Okay, now what this means is if we put a number in, which it says this point is 1.5, that's our input, that's our x value. How can I change a 1.5 to a 7 for my y? Well, all I have to do, there's lots of different ways to think about this, but the easiest way is what can I add to 1.5 to get 7? And that answer is just going to be 5.5. So if I just go plus 5.5 here, that's our function rule. Y equals x plus 5.5. Y is our output equals x is our input. Our input plus 5.5 is going to be equal to 7. Now, if I wanted to write this as an actual function in function notation, I would just write like this, x plus 1.5. Instead of the y, I could write f of x. Either one of these is fine. Just somehow figure out how to turn that 1.5 into 7. And we can do that just by adding 5.5. Okay? The next one, number 15. Yeah, don't ask me why they're in that order, but that's what we got. A cable company charges a monthly fee of $24.50 for cable service. Now, I know where this problem's going. I know I'm going to have to write an equation and solve it. So I might as well just start writing down what looks like math. First thing that looks like math that I see is $24.50. So I'm going to write that down. $24.50 for cable service. There is an additional monthly fee of $3 for each premium channel. That phrase, for each, is so important. If we just recognize that, this becomes so easy. For each, for every, and per becomes so easy. For each, for every, per mean multiply. So we're going to multiply this. So we have an additional, so we're going to add $3 for each means times premium channel. And I could use P for premium, C for channel. I could use X. I'm going to use C for channel. Okay? And that is going to be his cost. All right? Bill. I'll use B for bill. $24.50 plus $3 times channels is equal to his bill. All right, so that's the equation. It says write and evaluate a function to find the monthly cost of George's cable service. So that's our function that we're going to use. Now it says that George has cable service with 4 premium channels. So all I need to do is put 4 in for C. Okay, if I put 4 in for C right there, $24.50 plus 3 times 4, just punch that into your calculator. That's all you've got to do. And this is going to be $36.50. That is George's monthly bill. All right, let's look at the next one. Mr. Reynolds is a car salesman. He makes a salary of $55,000 a year. He also earns a commission of 1/12 of his total sales for the year. This year, Mr. Reynolds has a sales total of $295,200. Write and evaluate a function to find Mr. Reynolds' total earnings for the year. Okay, so now, if we're writing this function, we're just going to start with this. And maybe let's start using X and Y. He makes a salary of $55,000 a year. $55,000. He also earns, well, if it's also earning something else he's going to earn, we're going to have to add this to it. So plus 1/12 of his total sales for the year. That just means 1/12 times X, whatever he sold for the year. Okay, so this is our function. This is our equation. No problem here. 55,000 plus 1/12 times X. It says this year Mr. Reynolds has a sales total of $295,000. Well, that $295,200, that's just our X. That's how much he sold. So just take 55,000 times 1/12 times 295,200. And honestly, I don't even know what that is. I don't have a calculator here. I'm going to be out of luck trying to figure this out. Okay, so I'm back now. Let's see what this is. So we've got 55,000 plus 1/12 times 295,200. Okay, and that's going to be, his total earnings for the year are going to be 79,600. 79,600. Okay, so not bad. Just write the equation and then sub it in. Number 17, kinetic energy is the energy of an object in motion. The formula, okay, so this time we've got a formula written. Okay, so this is going to be so easy. M is the volumes, is the object's mass, and V is its velocity. Calculate the kinetic energy of a 45 kilogram object traveling at 3 meters per second. Well, kilograms is your mass. 3 meters per second is your velocity. So here's what we've got. K equals 1/2 times our mass, which is 45, times our velocity, which is 3 squared. All right, don't forget to square it. Look carefully at the formula and plug it in exactly like that is. So we've got 1/2 times 45 times 3 squared. Let's see what that is. That's going to be 202.5. All right, 202.5. I'm not even sure what that is. It might be joules. Yeah, it says your answer is measured in joules. So I'm not really concerned if you don't label it, but that's what we've got. All right, let's look at the next one. Write a function rule to model the cost of renting a truck for 1 day, then evaluate the function for the given number of miles. Okay, so these top two, we're going to use that to write our function rule. So first one, we've got 1995. Plus, we also have to pay something per mile, 50 cents per mile. And per means multiply. We've already talked about that. Mile, I'll just call that M. So this is going to be 1995 plus 0.50 M. That is our function. Y equals that. Now it says evaluate it. So this is where we just have to put 73 in for M. So just take 1995 plus 0.50 times 73. And that's going to be $56.45. That's it. Okay, so number 16, same thing. Daily rentals, $39.95. So we're going to pay that. Plus 60 cents per mile. So plus, 0.60. I'm going to erase that. That got sloppy. Plus 60 cents per mile. So per means times, so 60 times M. That is our function right there. That's the first thing it asks us to do. Then evaluate the function. So we know that M is 48 because that's what it tells us. So just put 48 in for M. 39.95 plus 0.60 times 48 is going to be $68.75. Okay. All right, let's keep trucking. Let's keep going. Number 20. The relationship between the length of a femur, F, the bone from the knee to the hip joint, and the height of an adult woman, H, is modeled by the function that. In the following ordered pairs, the first coordinate is the femur length, and the second is the coordinate is the corresponding height in inches. But honestly, I don't care about any of this other than that equation right there. That's all I got to look at. Okay, so right here, this H of F, another way of saying that is Y. And this F, just another way of saying that is X. So all we have to do is come over here and put 13 in for X. So 2.3 times 13, because 13 is your X, plus 24. All right? So I plug 13 in to this equation for F. That's all we're doing. So let's go ahead and do that. 2.3 times 13 plus 24. And if there's no variables in there, we can just use our calculator. 53.9. That's what we're going to get for T. Okay, let's do the exact same thing, except this time we're putting 14.5 in for f. So we've got 2.3 times 14.5 plus 24. And let's see what we got. 2.3 plus, whoops, I'm sorry, times 14.5 plus 24. Easy peasy, 57.35. Okay? Now letter C, this is going to be just a teeny tiny bit more difficult. This time we know our y, so that's going right there. So we've got 56.2 is equal to 2.3f plus 24. Subtract the 24 over, minus 24. This is going to be 32.2 is equal to 2.3f. And divide by 2.3. This is going to be 14. F equals 14. So that's your answer for letter C. Do the exact same steps for letter D. Okay, so put 72.3 in for your y right there, your h of f, and then solve it for f. Okay, let's look at the next one. I really am a big fan of number 11. I love this problem. Reasoning. The line y plus 4 equals 3/4 times x minus 8 contains the point A2. Find A. Well, okay, so as I look at this, the point A2, we know that that's an x and a y, right? So A is our x and 2 is our y. So let's just go ahead and sub that in. If 2 is our y, we've got 2 plus 4 equals 3/4 times x minus 8. Okay, and if we wanted to, we could even put, we know that our a, that's our x value, right? Because in an ordered pair, it goes x and y, x and y. So 2 is our y, a is going to be our x. So let's distribute the right side. 3/4 times a is just going to be 3/4 a. 3/4 times negative 8, you can use your calculator, that's just going to be negative 6. And on the left side, 2 plus 4 is just going to be 6. So now let's just solve it. Add the 6 across, so plus 6. Then we're going to get 12 equals 3/4 of a. And when we divide by 3/4, we're going to get a equals 16. All right? So no problem. No problem. Real easy stuff. Number 15. Rosa must read 20 pages of a book for English class. It will take Rosa about 50 minutes to complete her reading. Draw a graph and write an equation to represent the situation. Okay, so this is going to be easy. 20 pages in 50 minutes. Okay, that's just a slope. 20 pages in 50 minutes. That's your slope. How fast is it changing? How fast is she reading? 20 pages per 50 minutes. So let's simplify this. Knock off those zeros, divide by 10. Our slope is going to be 2/5. Well, we know how to write an equation, direct variation equation. That slope just goes in front of the x. All right, that's it. That's the equation. If we were to graph this, just real quick, it's going to look like that. Up 2 over 5 looks something like that. All right, no sweat. We've got it real easy. Number 16. According to the information in exercise 15, how long will it take Rosa to read 30 pages? Well, let's see. 30, that's going to be our y. That's how many pages she's read. She reads she reads 2 pages in 5 minutes. So I'll just use m. Well, we'll keep it as x. We'll keep it as x just so that we keep this same equation that we used right there. Okay, so 30 divided by 2/5. It's going to be 75 is equal to x. All right? Pretty easy. We got this, no problem. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, now this is a little bit more difficult. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for each line. So we're writing the equation, so we're going to start y minus y equals m times x minus x. All right? I know that the x is going to be 2 from this point right there, from that ordered pair. The x is 2, so I'll write in a 2 there. I know that the y is 7, so I'm going to write in a 7 right there. But what about the m? Over here it says it's parallel to that line. Parallel means it has the same slope. Looking at this line, I know that the slope is 4. So I'm just going to come over here. It's got the same slope. Our new line has the same slope. It's going to be 4. Let's solve this for y. 4x minus 8. And then just add the 7 across. And we're going to go y equals 4x minus 1. Okay. Number 14. The equation y minus 4x equals 15 models the number of pages y you have finished reading in your textbook after you read for X hours this week. Okay, so make sure we don't miss this. Y is the number of pages, X is hours. Write this equation in slope-intercept form. So we've got y minus 4x equals 15. To put this in slope-intercept form, just add the 4x over. All right, this is slope-intercept form. We solve for y. Now, if we want to write it just a little bit nicer, we could do this. Y equals 4x. That's a positive 4x and a positive 15. Okay, that's maybe the best way we could write this. All right, that's A. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. Letter B, if you graph this equation, what would the slope represent? Well, it doesn't even matter if we're graphing it or not. What does the slope in this situation mean? What does that 4 mean? Well, slope is how fast something is changing, how fast something is going. What are we doing here? We are reading 4 means we are reading 4 pages per hour. All right, 4 pages per hour. This must be a tough textbook if we're only reading 4 pages per hour. But letter B, the slope is we read 4 pages per hour. Letter C, in this situation, what does the point 119 represent? Well, if you remember our X value, that was 1, and it said earlier that X was hours. So 1 must be 1 hour, and 19 is the number of pages, Y, the number of pages you finished reading your textbook. So after 1 hour, we finished 19 pages. And I'm out of room, but here we go. We'll fit it in there. After 1 hour, we finished 19 pages. Okay, so that's the end of the review. That's all you've got coming on the quiz tomorrow. Okay, so make sure you know if it's on this sheet, it's going to be on the quiz. So make sure you know how to do all of these problems. All right? I know you got it. Good luck.